red lipstick is more than just makeup. It is a statement. It's bold and timeless. It's undeniably powerful and sophisticated. But let's be real. How many of you have thought red lips just don't look good on me? It doesn't suit me. I feel too self-conscious to wear it. I hear these things from my clients all the freaking time. In today's video, we are breaking down everything you need to know about how to find your perfect red lip. We are going to be talking about shade recommendations for different skin tones, foolproof application techniques, and we'll even troubleshoot the common issues that may be holding you back. So by the end of this video, you will be ready to rock a red lip with confidence and maybe even fall in love with it. Who knows? It may very well be your new signature look. Today may be the day that your makeup signature look changes. We're gonna have to see. Let's go. So let's start with finding the perfect shade of red, because this is the most frequently asked question I get in my comments section whenever I talk about reds. Now, before we dive into what I recommend based on skin tone, I really need to emphasize that there are no rules when it comes to makeup. Makeup is subjective. It's not objective. And sometimes I get really bogged down with this because I know you guys want me to say, if you have blue eyes, wear this color. If you have brown eyes, wear this color. Makeup isn't like that, okay? Makeup is art, it's self-expression. And so there isn't a right and a wrong answer. There's just different things will lead to different results, but one isn't right and one isn't wrong. So all I have to say is that if you like a red, if you put it on and you think it looks good on you, then that's the right color despite the rules. If you put on a red and it feels off, then one of two things needs to happen. You either need to balance the makeup differently. So you need to do the eyes differently, maybe the base, maybe you need to add warmth to the skin. Or if you're not advanced with makeup, you need to choose a different shade. But with that said, I know that you guys like rules. So I'm going to show you a few examples of lipsticks that I find tend to look good on most people of that skin tone. So I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm just gonna divide this into 3 skin tones, okay? We have our fair and light skinned girls, we have our medium skinned girls, and then we have our deep skinned girls. Now I find with fair, light skinned women, they tend to look really beautiful in cool toned reds that lean towards the pink side. So I did a little photoshopping for you, okay? I found this beautiful woman on Pinterest, and now I photoshopped her in a red lip that leans pink. And you see how beautiful and stunning that is? You can see that this is a cool based red. It's not a warm or an orange based red. It doesn't pull those warm orangey tones. It pulls the cooler tones of the color wheel. And it's just very, very flattering and cohesive. It feels like it's right? And that's what makeup is. It's kind of a feeling. It feels right or it feels wrong. Now, I wanted to show this on a more mature model. So here is this very stunning woman. And then I will show you what I photoshopped on her. Isn't that beautiful? It looks spectacular. Again, this is a red lipstick that really leans toward the pink family. So I bet you're wondering, what lipstick is that? Well, it's Photoshop, but I found one for you. Now, 22R in Valentino Mini Rosso is a gorgeous shade. It really is a classic red, but it does pull a little bit towards the pink side, especially if you compare it to one that doesn't. You know, it looks like a really classic red on the hand, but it really pulls pink. Now, I went on a hunt at Sephora to try to find lip liners that would go with every one of these lip colors, because there really is no red lipstick application without lip liner. We're gonna go into that in a second. But a lip liner that goes very well with this Valentino color is actually by Fenty, and it is in the color The MVP, which is number 10. Okay, this combination together is beautiful. Now, as you can see, I modeled every single one of these lip colors on myself, even though I am not in the 2 color families that I'm going to be talking about. And that's again to emphasize that rules are meant to be broken, and that just because something is pink leaning or cool leaning doesn't mean that a warm-skinned medium person can't wear it. It's just going to look different. In fact, this is my lipstick. I wear this lipstick all the time. So keep that in mind. I'm giving you guidelines, but they are not rules. Okay, so let's move on to medium skin. So we're gonna move on to my skin tone. So women with medium to tan skin, they tend to look really good in reds that lean warm or orange base. And that's often because when you are a medium toned woman, you tend, not always, but you tend to pull a little bit of warmth in your skin. There are definitely medium toned women who are cool toned. Like my sister has much cooler skin than I do, but regardless of that, because she's medium and she has that kind of tan to the skin, she still looks really great in colors that pull warmth, like orange based reds. So look at this. I found this woman on Pinterest. Is she not beautiful? And this is the makeup she had on. Okay, I didn't Photoshop this. So you can see here that she's wearing a pink based red, which is the first red that I mentioned just now, right? For the lighter skinned women. Now, does it look bad on her? I do not think it looks bad on her. I think this woman is gorgeous and I think her makeup looks beautiful, but it definitely is pulling pink. Do you see that? Now, look what happens when you go towards the orange side of the red spectrum. That orange complements her skin. It kind of makes her skin look warmer, a little bit glowier, a little bit richer. Whereas the cool toned pink, it's more of a contrast, so it almost stands out a little bit more. Do you see that? Can you guys visualize that? This is the perfect example of not being stuck in rules when it comes to makeup, because one isn't necessarily better than the other. They're just different and they're going to create different effects. So it just depends on the effect that you want to create. What do you guys think? What do you prefer? Do you prefer her in the pink base red or the orange base red? I find that her skin tone is a little more harmonious in the orange base red, but regardless of that, the pink one makes a huge statement and looks amazing. And depending on her full outfit, we can't see her outfit, it might be really suitable to what she's wearing and kind of the vibe she wants to portray on that event. Okay, here is another example. So here's another medium toned woman. You can see her here with no lipstick on. And then I added that same warm orange based red to her in Photoshop, and you can see how beautiful it looks. Doesn't it look beautiful? It really warms up her complexion. She's got all of that warmth in the skin, being that it's medium tone. So you're just complementing that skin tone by adding that pop of warmth into the lip in a bright shade. In terms of an actual color you can buy, my favorite warm toned red lip that I wear all the time and that I am wearing today is the Valentino Mini Rosso in 219A. And I find it pairs incredibly well with MAC RubyWoo. This is a very classic color in MAC. It's considered like one of the most universally flattering reds, RubyWoo. They have it in the lipstick version and they have it in the lip liner. The lipstick version, in my opinion, is a little bit too dry and chalky. I find over time when you wear it, it really feels very chalky. This gives kind of a similar-ish vibe. It's a little less poppy, but it's still kind of the same undertone family. But it does pair very well with the RubyWoo lip liner. And the lip liners from MAC are actually excellent. They are really, really good. All right, let's move on to deep skin. So since deep skin has a higher saturation of color, you need to go in with a red that is also deeply saturated. Even though deep-skinned women can definitely pull off a really poppy red, it looks very theatrical, okay? And that's because poppy reds aren't as saturated with colors. They're less saturated, but the skin is saturated, so it stands out. Does it look bad? No, it just looks more theatrical. So if you want a red that's very complementary, then you need to pick something that is deeply saturated. So I'm gonna show you an example here, okay? I can't even begin to tell you how much fun I had photoshopping this. Here is model number 1 with a nude lip. Now look at model number 1 with a saturated red lip. Are you in love? I am in love. I gasped when I did that. When I finished this, I was like, oh, this looks amazing on her. And the reason, again, it looks so gorgeous on her is because her skin is rich. The color is rich. This is a purple based red, right? So I showed you 3 different types of reds. We have our pink toned reds. We have our orange toned reds. This is definitely a violet based red, so it's on the other side, right? It's a really cool, highly saturated deep red, and it looks phenomenal. This is an amazing color. Oh my gosh, this looks so good on her. Here is another example. Look at this beautiful woman in a nude lip, but look at her with this color. It's the exact same color. It's that really saturated violet leaning red. Does that not look incredible? Very complementary, very cohesive to her skin tone, right? Whereas if she did a brighter red like what I have on, it's not that it wouldn't look good, it would just stand out more from her skin. So it would be more theatrical. So if that's the look you're going for, absolutely do that, but it's not gonna be as balanced. Now, when it comes to this color, I just found this color. This color is actually very hard to find, and it's very hard to find a matching lip liner. It's a brand new release by Valentino again, and it is in color 508R. I recently wore this to an event. I got a lot of compliments on it. It is the perfect, very deep wine red. Now, finding these kind of really deep lip liners can actually be hard. It's much easier to find like a poppier red lip liner, but I did find one. I went on a hunt for you guys, and it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liner in the color Blackberry. It goes perfectly with this. So if you want that really nice deep red, regardless of what skin color you are, this combination is the best. Let's move into some application techniques. Now, the first thing you need to be sure of before applying your red lip is that your lips are not flaky, because bright poppy lips tend to emphasize texture, especially if they're matte. And a lot of red lipsticks lean towards matte. They're not super glossy. So you're really gonna be emphasizing any textural issues that you have on your lips, like flakiness. The biggest tip that I can give you when it comes to not having flaky lips, especially if you live in a cold, dry place, is to use lip chap every single night before bed. Now, you can go in with Blistex if you want, like a medicated lip balm or Carmex. All of that is gonna work. Put it on as your last step in your nighttime routine and sleep with it on every single day. You will never have chapped lips ever again. You can also go in with a lip oil. Okay, so this one by Tirtir, you guys can see I use a ton of it. I have it in every color. I use it every night before bed. City Lips Night Oil, City Beauty. That one is just like this one. It's very, very good. You just need something incredibly hydrating. Now, in the event that your lips are dry and they are a little bit flaky, you're gonna wanna get rid of that before applying your red lips for sure. And so one way to do that is to do a really nice light scrub, being really careful not to tear your lips apart. Okay, so you gotta do it really gently. You can buy lip scrubs if you want to. I personally find it a little bit of a waste of money, if I'm being honest. I don't think it's necessary to go out and buy a lip scrub. What I do is I have it right here. I mix sugar with coconut oil and a little bit of honey. It creates a really nice texture, and then I rub it all over my lips. It's very hydrating as well because of the coconut oil and the honey, and then I wipe it away. Now, normally before I go in with my lipstick, I will apply a little bit of like a balm or something nice and hydrating to plump a little bit while I do the rest of my makeup. Today I applied the Tirtir oil, and then I just make sure to dab it off before going in with my lip liner. The next step is to outline and to define. So you want to use a lip liner that either matches the lipstick as close as you can get it to match, or is a little bit deeper. And if you go a little bit deeper than the lipstick, you'll get some shading in the perimeter, which is actually very beautiful. One pro tip that I have for you is to overline just the Cupid's bow and the bottom of the lip in the center. Okay, if you want to overline, if you want a little bit of a fuller mouth, and red kind of emphasizes the size of your mouth. So if your mouth is very small, you might want to think about overlining a little bit, but if you overline, you always want to overline here and here, but you never ever want to overline here. And that's a mistake I used to make a lot when I was a younger artist. When I was younger, I would overline my entire mouth. If you overline your entire mouth, you will end up with like a clown-like effect. Everything is just wide and big and bright, and it looks ridiculous. Okay, you always want to keep the overlining to the center to create a pouty but shorter this way mouth. And then your last set is to clean up and set. So you will most likely make a little bit of a mistake if you're wearing a really poppy red, and that's completely fine. All you need is a brush. I actually like using this brush. It's Rephr number 28. Now, a lot of people recommend going in with concealer. I never clean up with concealer because concealer is so dense that I find when you're going up against a line, it can become harsh and it's so hard to blend because it's so dense. So I just go ahead, I put a little bit of foundation, which is usually lower in viscosity. I apply it on the back of my hand. I put my brush into that, and then I carve out any kind of mistake or error, or I'll tighten up the sides of my mouth if I extended it too far and it's starting to look a little clownish. And that's it. It's very easy. Now, if you really want to extend the wear time of your lips and you don't mind your lips looking matte, what you can also do is actually blot your lips a bit. Then you can grab a little bit of translucent powder and you can actually dust that on. And what that's gonna do is exactly what powder does for every makeup thing, right? It will set it so it transfers much less and stays on much longer. Now, if you do that and you're too matte and you want a little bit more life back, you can set the middle layer and you can then top it up with your lipstick again. So you kind of have like a double layer where you have a set layer underneath. Then you can bring a little bit more moisture back in by going in again. And then you are done. If you find that when you wear a bright lip, it always ends up on your teeth, there's a really easy solution to that. You just take either a towel that you don't mind getting red on, or a paper towel or a tissue. You just wrap it around your finger and you do this. The reason that the lipstick is getting on the teeth is because you have lipstick on the inner parts of your mouth and it's rubbing on your teeth and rubbing off onto it. So as long as you get that lipstick on the inner parts of your mouth off, then you won't have that transfer issue anymore. Now let's troubleshoot some common issues, okay? So one common issue is lipstick bleeding or smudging. Now there's very easy solution to that. The more creamy, glossy, and slippery the lip product is, the more you're going to get issues with bleeding. So if you have a lot of lip lines and your lipstick is bleeding, I suggest that you go towards more of a matte or a satin matte formula. That's going to reduce it by quite a bit. Another thing that you have to do is lip liner. Lip liner is wax-based. Wax-based things move a lot less because they are denser. They have higher viscosity, right? So if you create a barrier around the lips, then you're not going to get as much bleeding into the fine lines. Finally, the next thing you can do that is actually quite good, it's actually amazing, even if you don't have lip lines, but if you want your red to last the whole entire day and to look incredible, is to get a lip primer. So my favorite one is by Anastasia Beverly Hills again. It's a very simple product. If you look at it, it just looks actually like a lip balm. It is clear. So you can apply this on your entire mouth. So all on your lips, everything like a lip balm, but you can actually go into those lip lines. I would do it before you do your foundation, stipple your foundation over it. And that's really gonna help create a barrier to keep things in. It's also gonna fill in those little lip lines like a primer. And that's exactly what it is. It's a primer, it's a little lip line spackle, okay? You can use it on your lips and around your lips, it's great. Another problem that I hear all the time with reds is that it makes your teeth look yellow. You don't like wearing it because it makes your teeth look yellow. All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It does actually. For some people, it definitely does. So warm colors like orange, corals, anything that is warm is adjacent to yellow on the color wheel. Okay, so they tend to amplify each other. So if your teeth pull yellow and you're wearing a very corally red or very orange based red, because yellow and orange are together on the color wheel, they will bring each other out. They'll amplify each other. So they'll make your teeth in turn look yellow. So if that's happening to you, I suggest you try using a red that actually leans the other way. So you're gonna wanna use a cool base red. So something that has violet in it or that is blue based. All right, and the reason you want to do that is because yellow and purple are opposite each other on the color wheel, so they actually cancel and neutralize each other out. So if you use a berry toned red lip or a purple toned red lip, it's going to lean purple, right? And if your teeth are leaning yellow, they're opposite on the color wheel and bam, they neutralize each other out, and it's actually gonna make your teeth look whiter instead of more yellow. It's a really cool effect. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you learned something new, and I hope that this video gave you a little bit of that boost of confidence to try something that you maybe wouldn't have tried before. This video's over.